say goodbye to the beans. I'm going to harvest the beans that we can see here today, and that's it. We're already in the middle of December, and this plant is not producing any new beans. These were the same rattlesnake beans that we planted during the heat wave, and they did very well. They grew all the way to the top of the trellis, made many beans, and now it is time to say goodbye. Thank you for producing so many beans for us. It was a pleasure. Finally, I'm going to harvest some of these green onions. And green onions are different from the onions you're used to, the ones that are big and round and you chop up into little pieces and are very, very strong in their flavor. These have a milder flavor, and you just harvest the leaf like I'm doing here. You tear off just a few of the leaves and you can mix it in with your food and add some flavor to it. I already harvested all the beets a few weeks ago, but take a look at this. I guess you could call it a beet weed. There was a tiny little beet plant still growing, and I just ignored it. I didn't try to keep watering it, but some water kept spilling over to it, and it was enough for it to grow. And so now, a few weeks later, some of the leaves have grown. There's no bulb like there is normally on a beet, but the leaves are edible and they're quite delicious. I still have all this lettuce that's still looking good in the winter. There's the red ruby lettuce. There's the first lettuce boll that I had, and it isn't really growing back anymore, maybe just a few leaves. And then there's this green lettuce boll. I'm gonna leave this alone for another week and harvest some of it next time. What I will be harvesting plenty of today though is kale. Here is the kale, and kale is a winner in the winter in the garden. This is the blue Scotch kale right here, and it grew very well, even though there wasn't that much sun. That plant was even more in the shade. It didn't grow as much, but there's still plenty of leaves to harvest here of 3 different kinds of kale. We've got here the red Russian kale, which has the different shaped leaves that are all kind of pointy. And this has a more mild flavor. Here's the dinosaur kale, or the Italian kale. That's the kind that you typically find in the store. Then here's the blue Scotch kale. Comes from Scotland, all from 3 different parts of the world. Kale. Those are the last 4 beans of 2020, 4 rattlesnake beans, a handful of beet leaves, some green onion leaves, and a whole big bowl of different colored kale.